I forgot our anniversary and went out with my boss, while my husband waited at home. He didn't call me once that night, not once. The silence from him felt heavier than any argument could have been. I remembered laughing too loudly at dinner, fake laughter, forced charm, while my boss leaned closer across the table, his hand brushing mine like it was an accident. It wasn't. I knew that. I also knew my phone was sitting face down beside my wine glass, screen lighting up again and again with his name. Ayen, our anniversary. The one night he had probably spent hours preparing for. The one night I had forgotten. The restaurant smelled of expensive wine and guilt. My boss told me I looked too beautiful to be married, and I smiled, a small, stupid smile that somehow felt like betrayal. When I got home, it was past midnight. The lights were still on. He was sitting in the living room, quiet, still, the cake untouched on the table. 2 candles burned down to wax puddles. He looked at me once, not angry, not even sad, and said only one thing. "You didn't forget. You chose not to remember." Then he stood up, walked past me, and went to bed. That was the moment something broke inside me. Not his trust, mine. The days after that were quiet. Too quiet. Ayen spoke softly, kindly, even smiled sometimes, but I could feel the distance, like he was already gone, but still pretending to live beside me. Every morning, coffee was made, breakfast was ready. His routine was perfect, but he never looked at me long enough for me to feel seen. It was worse than anger. It was punishment through peace. I tried explaining that it was just dinner, that I didn't mean anything by it, but he only nodded. No argument, no questions, just silence. And yet I could sense him watching me when he thought I wasn't looking. His phone, once open and careless, was now locked. His work schedule, once predictable, had changed. He started staying late, coming home tired. A reversal, a mirror. He was doing to me what I had done to him, but colder, smarter, quieter. I began to wonder if there was someone else, someone who listened when he spoke, someone who looked at him the way I no longer did. The fear that had once belonged to him was now mine. I searched for clues, a perfume that wasn't mine, a smile that lasted too long, a text he hid. Nothing. He was too careful, almost methodical, and that scared me more than any affair ever could. It started with a letter, folded, unaddressed, slipped inside my drawer. People forget anniversaries, but they don't forget pain. The handwriting was his, precise, calm, unnervingly controlled. Every night after that, I'd hear faint movements downstairs, drawers opening, cupboards shifting, the slow, deliberate rhythm of someone searching. But for what? One night I followed him quietly, barefoot, holding my breath. He was in the study, laptop open, photos, messages, screenshots, my messages, my location history, the restaurant bill, the one I thought I'd thrown away. He had pieced together everything, every lie, every omission, every silence. And yet he hadn't confronted me. He was building something. When he finally noticed me standing there, he didn't flinch. He simply turned the screen toward me, a folder titled The Anniversary. Then he shut the laptop and walked away. The calm in his eyes terrified me more than fury ever could. After that night, things changed. He started recording our conversations, subtly, naturally, leaving his phone in rooms I entered, testing my reactions. He wasn't seeking revenge through rage, he was orchestrating it like a quiet symphony. And I could only wait for the crescendo. A week later he called me into the living room. No emotion, no prelude. On the table was an envelope. Inside, printed photos of me and my boss. Nothing inappropriate, just too close, too intimate. Ayen sat across from me, calm as ever. I didn't need proof, he said. I just needed confirmation. He wasn't asking. He was watching. My silence was the confirmation. He slid another paper forward, a letter of resignation. My boss's signature, my name mentioned in HR's report. He resigned this morning, Ayan said. Apparently someone sent his wife the dinner receipts, the texts, the photos. I froze. He leaned back, eyes still on me. It wasn't about revenge, he whispered. It was about balance. That was the moment I understood. He hadn't just uncovered the truth, he had rewritten the narrative, made me the story of my own downfall. He stood up, picked up his keys, and said quietly, "The difference between us, Mira, is that I remember everything." Then he left. And for the first time, the silence I'd once inflicted on him came back to drown me. Days turned to weeks. He didn't come home. When he did, he stayed in the guest room. No questions, no fights. Just a slow, deliberate detachment. The house felt haunted, not by ghosts, but by truth. Then one morning, I received an email from Ayan, a link, a shared drive. Inside, photos of our wedding, our anniversary, our text messages, and a short note beneath each memory, one sentence, clinical and final. This was the day you promised loyalty. This was the moment I stopped believing it. This is what love looks like before it dies. No signature, no goodbye. He didn't want me to feel anger. He wanted me to feel awareness, to see what I had done, not just to him, but to myself. And he succeeded. Every image cut deeper than 1,000 accusations. Every word was colder than silence. That was his revenge. Not exposure, not destruction, just reflection. He made me watch myself from his eyes, and in that gaze, I finally saw the monster I had become. It's been 6 months since he left. No calls, no closure. Just a void shaped like the man I once ignored. I still wear my ring sometimes, not out of hope, but out of guilt. A reminder of what memory feels like when it's weaponized. People ask if I regret it. Regret isn't the word. I miss the version of myself that existed before that night. The one who still believed love forgave everything. Now I know better. Love doesn't forgive. It records. It remembers. And when it's done being silent, it becomes something colder, something calculated. Sometimes I still see him in my dreams, sitting in that same chair, under the dim light, staring at the cake that melted into wax and sorrow. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to, because deep down, I know. It wasn't the anniversary I forgot. It was him. And he never forgot me.
How could you do this?